Heat. Let's talk about it. It's the Hoops Nerd postgame show. All right, guys. So before we get into it, like always, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I got it painted. Finally, behind me. There we go. Look at that. If you're not on YouTube, you're not going to see it. And guess what? It's coming. I actually haven't even looked at this with the color yet. Pretty good. I think it's going to look nice. So anyways, ow, did I just pull my... I'm getting old. But anyways, I'm excited about it. I do wonder if this I need to paint as well. The light wood, I don't know. Let me know what you think. Does the light wood need to be... I think we're going to go with white. My wife was telling me, she thought, yeah, she's thinking maybe white. And I think that might look fine. I was thinking light gray, but apparently that's out. I don't know. I don't know. So I think we might do white. Like, what should I do? Eggshell white? Is that too white? I don't know. But I like this. It does kind of make me think it looks a little chalkboardy. But I don't know. I think I like the color, and I think the sign will look nice once I finally get it up there. So I'm going to try to get it up there. We need to give this like a day to, I guess, dry, although it looks pretty dry to me at this point, but we'll see. All right, so, and this might not be as long. My daughter's birthday is tomorrow, so we might do this relatively quickly. I've got to go prepare some cheesecakes. She wants cheesecakes for her birthday, and she likes, I love, by the way, just something about me. I love cheesecake, and I love making all sorts of cheesecakes. I especially love making, with the spring form, I like making like high-level cheesecake. I'm just going to be honest. No one can out-cheesecake me. I'll just say that. And I like making from scratch crust. And by the way, this is a Utah Jazz podcast. But we'll get into it. Not a lot to say tonight, to be honest. But anyways, a from-scratch crust, I personally enjoy... well, obviously you make them from crumbled graham cracker, for the crust a lot of the time, and butter and some sugar in your crust. Although there's a specific like there's like different types of crusts you can make, though. It's not coming to me. It's a little late. I'm getting old. Can't remember. What are Biscoff? I really like making a crust out of the Biscoff cookies, those crumbled up in the food processor. Add the butter, add the sugar, form them in the spring form, and then obviously your cheesecake, there's different variations that you can do, but typically if it's got some sort of egg component in it, then it needs to be baked. But you can do just the no bake, which will not include egg usually, but obviously cream cheese, which is why it's called cheesecake, and then different things. Now what's funny is I like making the high-level ones, the spring form pan, homemade crust, baked cheesecake, this thick, just thick. And I think I do love making some of the chocolate ones, but I've also really enjoyed making lemon-based and other ones like that. I'm getting a little hungry just thinking about it. There is also, I have a 3-ingredient recipe cheesecake. It is, to me, it's like hobo cheesecake. I don't know. In fact, that's probably what I should call it. It's literally like, it's 3 ingredients. Well, is it 4? But it's cream cheese, sweetened condensed milk, and lemon juice. That's it. Yeah, so it's like 3 ingredient. And then obviously you have the graham cracker crust, and you just buy it from like the grocery store. The cheapest one there is, by the way. It's all the same. The graham crackers are the same, come from the same vendors. It's all the same, right? 3 ingredient, and I got to make that tonight. So anyways, I just spent how many minutes talking about that? Anyways, the Utah Jazz lost by 30 to the Miami Heat tonight, which is good for the tank. I was a little worried tonight that Utah would win, but that became apparent pretty, deep into the second quarter. That was not going to happen. The Miami Heat, I got to give them some credit. I love their brand of defense. I love it. It is the type of defense you always hope for with your team that they play. Hannah Jelm 2596, welcome to Rookie. Welcome. Thank you, Hannah. Welcome to the show. A rookie with potential, as we say. But anyways, they are long and big at every position, whether it's from Pell Larson, Andrew Wiggins. Bam Adebayo is like 6'9" at the center, but he's long and athletic. And he plays great defense. Defensive Player of the Year candidate, typically. Norman Powell is pretty big and long. And then Jack Usonis, who, by the way, was kind of just shooting the lights out. By the way, Bam shot 4 for 10 from 3 tonight. That was kind of impressive. I don't typically look at him as a three-point shooter, but he was tonight. Let's see what he's doing for the year, just for curious. 35%. Not bad. Pretty good. So not too out of the norm for Bam at 40% tonight. He's 35 for the year. So one uptick. 26 points, 15 rebounds, 2 assists. Solid night for Bam Adebayo. But then you look at Jaime Jaquez, Nikola Jovic. By the way, and I don't know if this is going to get me in trouble. He has the longest nose I've ever seen. I'm sorry. Sorry. And I got my own shark fin right there, but he has he's got an orca fin. I'll just say that it is it is out there. Anyways, he's a good player though. 6 for 12 from the field, 3 for 6 from 3, 11 free throws for Jovic. He's been good. We can kind of see why the Miami Heat did not want to trade him. He was great. And then the return of Simone Fontecchio. The jet blackest hair of all the jet black hair. It was flowing tonight. 4 for 9 from 3 for Simone Fontecchio. Just a solid pickup for them. But what was really impressive about this Heat team tonight was just the energy, and they just outsized and out-athleted the Jazz, if that makes sense. They just kind of made the Jazz... I will not mock Markkanen tonight, Hannah. I will not mock him. I will mark him, but I will not mock him. I don't know what mark means. Anyways, they just were better athletes all night long and played with just much more intensity. And it's very clear they play with pace. And my goodness, do they crash the offensive boards. Like, they crash the offensive boards like crazy. I was playing Madden with my son today, and he beat me 2 out of 3. Pissed me off. Freaking Madden did not upgrade Jackson Dart. I wanted to play as the Giants, who are my second favorite team. And I did not have Malik Neighbors on the field. And but anyways, one thing my son was doing was making me mad is he was doing goal line offense. And the reason I'm telling this story is because it kind of feels like what the Miami Heat do on the offensive board. It is like all hands on deck, goal line offense, go. And they go at the basket. And you could see tonight, like, there was one play, or there was a couple plays where the Jazz were able to get the rebound and leaked out because the Heat were crashing the boards like crazy. But look at this. 26 offensive rebounds for the Miami Heat compared to 7 for the Jazz. 7 compared to 26. I mean, that's kind of the game right there. And then three-point shooting, they shot 40% from 3. The Jazz shot 28. Sometimes these games, and this is more when we're talking about winning and losing seasons, well, winning seasons, and then nights where you just lose. Sometimes the explanation's pretty simple. If they got that big of a difference on the offensive rebounds compared to you and shot the 3 that much better, we should not be surprised that the score was this lopsided. I mean, that was just an absolute spanking. They got out the wooden paddle and spanked the Jazz pretty hard tonight. No question about it. I expect the Jazz to play better the next game. They seem to bounce back pretty well from these. But there's been 3 or 4 of these this season where the Jazz have been just absolutely shellacked. And tonight was one of those nights. Yeah, it was crazy. Uh, you're right, Painted Elk. Like I know what you're talking about. There was like 2 or 3 of those, but there was one especially where they got like 5 in a row. It was wild. And, sometimes that's effort. Sometimes that is athleticism and length on the floor, right? So if they are crashing the boards and, that's one reason why sometimes I get nervous when Utah looks at drafting smaller guys. It's why I like Kingston Fleming, but I think I would rather have Nate Ament if the Jazz get the 5th pick than Kingston Fleming's. Because Nate Ament is 6'10". By the way, I was at the gym watching the Jazz. If you're ever at the Vasa gym in Clinton, I watch the games there. I bring my iPad, I put it on the treadmill, and I walk and I watch the Jazz games. So if you want to watch the Jazz games with me and you got a Vasa account, you can come walk with me. But I walk for like 2.5 hours. I've been losing weight, by the way. I'm excited about it. But anyways, I was watching Nate. This is just a side note. I'm squirreling. Side note, I watched Nate Ament with Tennessee while I also watched the Jazz, and between commercials, I'd watch them. Nate Ament is better now than he started the season. I know he's fallen off the rankings a little bit, but he's back up, and the reason is he's looking good. Like 6'10", drives. He can rise up and fire over anybody. I mean, he's 6'10". He's bigger than Ace Bailey. He's not an insane athlete, and his skill level needs some work. Like, he does need to shoot the ball better, but man, did I see some things that make me think with more space, this guy might be special. This draft is crazy, guys. Nate Ament is going to go like 5 or 6. He might go later. And, 2 years ago, he'd have been the number 1 pick. It's crazy. It's really crazy. So, I don't know. Like, instead of Ricochet, Nate Ament 100% would have been like the number 1 pick. No question. That's what's crazy about this draft. It's crazy. In fact, let's just see where does Tankathon have Nate Ament? 6. Yeah, I would take Nate Ament over Kingston Fleming. I know he's skinny, 207 pounds at 6'10", but look at that, 8'1", and he passes the ball pretty well. And honestly, I'm big. Here's the thing. When I was doing the live streams last year, we talked a lot about Derek Queen. I told you Derek Queen was good. I told you. I think Nate Ament is going to be good. He is big and long and tall and shoots, skill level high, plays hard on defense, drives. He's just not an explosive athlete. But who he reminds me of is Jalen Johnson on the Hawks. He moves and looks like Jalen Johnson. And Jalen Johnson didn't go high because they were worried about, he wasn't the explosive athlete. Now he's averaging a triple-double, and he might start on the All-Star team for the East, right? That's who Nate Ament makes me think of. I think he's awesome. So there's guys in this draft that even if you don't get, top 4, still great guys. Mikal Brown Jr., by the way, there's a dunk that he had this year that was just filthy. Another guy that in the Ricochet draft might have gone number 1, Mikal Brown Jr. No question. So pretty good. It's why Utah needs to keep losing. That's why today was good. Even though it's bad and it sucks to lose, successful, good night for the Jazz in terms of the tank, which is really important this year. Now, next year, it's going to be a lot of fun. But anyways, let's talk about the Jazz a little bit and probably close shop here a little early. But anyways, Ace Bailey, 6 for 15 from the field. I don't know if he turned his ankle, something like that early in the game, and you could tell it kind of affected him because his shot wasn't falling from 3. Would be crazy. But yeah, 0 for 5 from 3 tonight. I'm not reading too much into that because I think he did turn his ankle or hit. I can't remember what it was. But he did something. He hit his hip. I can't remember, but it was bothering him. And you could kind of tell. I wonder if we don't see him next game, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if there's no Ace Bailey next game. Cody Williams continues to be impressive to me. Tonight wasn't his best game. Wasn't a good game for anybody tonight, to be honest, guys. The Jazz got just absolutely destroyed. So if we're looking for like good games, it's probably like Jusuf Nurkic, but the Jazz lost by 30, so I don't know. But anyways, I do love the defense from Cody Williams. I did want to look at this, 3 blocks. We're getting to the point. Ah, man, why is the NBA site not working? There we go. I think it was this one. We're getting to the point with his defense where it's getting pretty great. And I think it has a chance to get better. But this play right here was pretty impressive. And this is silver lining stuff. Jazz lost by 30, whatever. But look at this. He recovers after is it? I think that's Yakusonis or Jovic. I think it's Yakusonis. Yeah, it's Yakusonis. He goes up. Look at this block from behind. Bam. This thing was impressive. Just really great stuff. And then let's go to this block here. I don't remember any of this. Look at this. On drives. There we go, too. That's rim. This is pretty exciting stuff. And this is why you got to be excited about next year for this Jazz team. They're going to have so much length and size. Look at Cody Williams. Sticks with his man. And that's just great stuff. Really nice block. Really nice stuff. I think that Cody Williams has turned himself into, like, if you're ranking the prospects you're excited about on this Jazz team, obviously number one is Keonte George. I think consensus would probably have Walker Kessler as 2 as a prospect, right? Although we're getting out of prospect territory and we kind of know what Walker Kessler is for the most part, but he can still improve. I think I'd put Ace Bailey above Walker Kessler. My rankings, I can do what I want. 1, Keonte George. 2, Ace Bailey. This could always change. Like, what if Ace Bailey takes an incredible leap next year? Who knows? 3, Walker Kessler. And then when you're looking at guys like Hendricks, Clayton, Sensabaugh, I think there's an argument between Clayton and Cody Williams at this point. Because that defense is looking very good. It's pretty special. Pretty nice. And he's bringing consistency. And the three-point shot is falling. Tonight he only took 1 and missed it. But he's been shooting like in the last 15 games, something like 33 to 36%. Somewhere in there. Let's go see, actually. Cody Williams. And he's only in his 2nd season. So let's bring this up really quick. I know I said I wouldn't be long, but that's always a lie. But anyways, let's go back. Obviously, he had such a terrible start to the season. Look at that. He couldn't hit a 3 for the life of him. And then we go to here since, what is that? January 1. So this new year. So that's kind of nice. So this new year, 13 games, 35% from 3. That's 13 games. Not a huge sample size, but he's taking 2.2 a game. So it's not nothing. Pretty decent. And he's shooting 35% from 3. It's just under, what is that? Just under 36%. If he shoots 36 to 40% from 3 last year and plays defense and drives and dunks the basketball, you've got yourself a player. And these are not end of season games where you have lots of teams tanking and you're trying to play your worst players to lose games. This is legit stuff. This is playing against good teams. Like, look at this. This is against Clippers, Warriors, Portland, who is one of the better defensive perimeter teams, Oklahoma City. He was 1 for 2 against Oklahoma City. Dallas, Charlotte's playing well. Cleveland, good team. Chicago, 500. I mean, this is a good 2 games against San Antonio Spurs. He went 50% in both games against the Spurs. And some people are calling them one of the contenders. So I think it's time to get kind of excited about Cody Williams. Defense, I mean, truly a 3-and-D wing that dunks the ball. Good athleticism. You know what else? Like, he handles it pretty well. Like, he's got a good handle. He can bring the ball up. It's not like a deficiency of his game. He's no Kyrie Irving, but he has a handle. So he's a player that I think could be just a really nice rotation player for this Jazz going forward. He plays hard. He defends. He blocks shots. He gets steals. Like, you know, not bad at all. Tonight, obviously not great, but He's stuffing that stat sheet, and he's shooting just under 36% from three the last 13 games. Pretty good. Jusuf Nurkic got another triple-double, and it only took him 31 minutes. Pretty crazy stuff. 12 assists, 10 rebounds, 17 points. I was writing about a trade rumor, a free agency rumor that came out today, by the way, about Walker Kessler. And I think Jusuf Nurkic doing this doesn't help the Walker Kessler case to make like $40 million a year. Because, I think most Jazz fans before the season started would have laughed about, Jusuf Nurkic being a nice addition to this team. There were so many Jazz fans that lost their minds because we gave a second-round pick and Colin Sexton to Charlotte for Jusuf Nurkic. Well, that second-round pick certainly looks pretty good when he's tied Karl Malone in total career triple-doubles for the Jazz. Karl Malone had 3 triple-doubles for the Jazz, and Jusuf Nurkic just tied him, which is kind of crazy. I actually don't mind this wood. What do you guys think? I don't mind it. I don't know. It might be fine. Anyways, crazy. Doesn't mean that Walker Kessler isn't worth paying and keeping on the Jazz. I would just like to keep his contract somewhere in the 20 to 30 million range. Please not over 30 million, please. It's too much. Utah can keep Walker Kessler no matter what because they can match any offer, but they got Jusuf Nurkic for a second-round pick and Colin Sexton, and it turned out pretty good. So just a reminder that centers can be gotten. Centers can be had. Right now, Yves Messi, I think it's Missy or Messi, not Messi, Missy, on the Pelicans is available. Solid rotation level center can be had. You can go out and get centers. And so I have a hard time wanting to pay too much money because when you consider that Keonte George is probably going to need to get paid next offseason. In fact, it might be this one. What is his, is it this one? Because he's 1 year behind Walker Kessler. Yeah. So he might be extension eligible this upcoming offseason. I'm not totally sure on that, but you're going to pay Key for sure. He's looking like a future star. You're going to have Lauri Markkanen on the books. You're going to pay Walker Kessler out the nose? I don't know, man. I don't know. That's tough. Good player, but I don't know if he's worth like $35 million. It's going to be crazy. So we'll see what Washington does. Svi Mykhailiuk played 17 minutes, 3 for 4. Interesting that he doesn't take a 3 tonight, which is kind of his calling card. So not much to say about him. Like I said, Keonte George, although tonight played pretty poorly, and so did everyone else on the Jazz. With Key not playing at a superstar level, the Jazz were not really in this one. 6 for 19 from the field. I know he had the game where he was sick, and the Jazz shouldn't have played him at all. That was actually really dumb when he went like 0 for 8 for the game. I don't count that game because he was sick. This probably his worst game of the season. 19 points, 5 assists, 2 steals still. He has a steal streak going on, by the way, which is kind of fun. Let's just look at it. So 2 tonight. Let's just go to Keonte George. There he is. Game log. Let's see. 25, 26. And then look. You go back. Look at this. He's got a steal streak going. At least one steal since December 20th. He is averaging 1.4 steals per game. Pretty cool. And people used to talk about his defense. Well, there's a sign that the defense is much better. Also, just his numbers from December 20th. This is 18 games. 41% from 3. 47% from the field. Averaging how many points? Where's the points? Come on. Where's the points? Is it not on here? Scroll over. Okay. 25.1 points, 6.4 assists, 1.4 steals, 3.8 rebounds. Just superstar stuff. It's crazy what he's doing. Insane. So we're going to give him some slack once in a while if he's not going to have a perfect or incredible game every night. Even the superstars have down nights, So 6 for 19 from the field. The shot wasn't falling. It is what it is. Isaiah Collier had a pretty decent night, actually. 16 points, 9 assists. He was solid tonight, actually. 6 rebounds. It's crazy his ability to drive and score. It's crazy. It's pretty crazy. Filipowski, 4 for 6 from the field. He was an even plus minus, 9 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. It feels like he's improved the last 3 games. The last 3 nights he's been better. Before that, it was looking pretty rough. But he's gotten better. Kyle Anderson played 15 minutes as well. Wasn't too great. Sensabaugh scored 23 points in this one. This is kind of becoming a trend to me that if Sensabaugh does really well, it has no effect on winning. I just don't feel like his... And he did shoot it better tonight, so you got to be happy. 4 rebounds, 23 points. The Jazz lost by 30. I don't know. I kind of feel like that's a sign right there. Keonte George has a really rough night, and the Jazz lose by 30. Kind of tells you a little bit about how important Keonte George is, right? On the other side of the coin, Bryce Sensabaugh goes 23 points. The Jazz lose by 30. That's empty calories right there to me. That's like drinking your calories, man, when you're trying to lose weight and you're drinking that sugary soda. You ain't going to lose the weight, man. And I feel like Bryce Sensabaugh is sugary, non-diet soda. I don't know. It's weird, right? I don't know. And that's kind of a trend we've seen all year long. I kind of feel like Bryce Sensabaugh might be the most, and this is me just being honest. Sorry, Bryce, if you're watching. No disrespect. And then I'm about to say something you wouldn't like, but might be the most overrated player on the Jazz is Sensabaugh. How many people were excited about him? And we talked about it last year, the shooting was solid, but it just doesn't translate, Sensabaugh might be the tank commander that the Jazz need to play. That's why I'm happy with him playing 23 minutes tonight. Maybe that's what they're doing. I don't know. But I feel like Bryce Sensabaugh does not, whatever it is, it just is not conducive to winning. It makes you think that it's not a it's a ball movement problem on offense for one. And that's a defensive problem too. If you're just not impacting winning in any way, then it usually means on the defensive end. And then Walter Clayton, 1 for 3 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, 5 points. I'm very pro Walter Clayton Jr. I don't know if there's much we take from him tonight other than he is at least contributing, and that's all you can ask for. That's really it tonight, guys. I'm very happy that the Jazz lost, though, because we need this tank to happen. Just a quick glance at things, but let's go to the home here. Indiana's starting to win games. Utah has quietly climbed closer. By the way, Indiana beat Oklahoma City. So that was awesome. And if they can just win a few more games, I think Utah can pass them up. The Sacramento Kings are morons, but they have lost 4 in a row. So we'll see. In fact, I'm just curious. Let's go to the games and see what we got tomorrow. Did the Jazz play tomorrow? I don't think so. No, they do not. But the Kings play the Pistons, so go Kings. In terms of tank, the Bucks all of a sudden lost Giannis. We need them to win. I don't care about that. Let's see. And then it's go Pelicans against the Spurs. By the way, Bill Simmons said something that I completely agree with. The Pelicans are like the best 10 or 11 win team in history. They are always in these games, and they just don't seem to get over the hump. It's why they're going to pass the Jazz eventually. They will. Utah's trying not to win, and it will happen too. By the way, did they win today? New Orleans won. Oh, yes, mama. See, let's go to the game. Anyways, can the Pelicans win a second in a row? Yeah, baby. Anyways, it's go Pelicans tomorrow, and then it's go Nets against the Clippers. By the way, this sucks because the Jazz are playing the Clippers, and the Clippers will be on the back end of a back-to-back. What the heck? Oh, wait, never mind. Calm down, James. Let's see. Okay, so they'll get some rest. Never mind. Man, do the Jazz not play till that Tuesday? Wow, do I actually get a break? I'll get the sign up. Heck yeah. Anyways, it's happy birthday to Dessa tomorrow. Let's see. I want to see this, though. Who cares? I'm always tired. Let's see. I'm just kind of talking to myself. Sorry. Let's see. Today is Saturday. Did the Pelicans play today? They did not. Did they play yesterday? They did, and they beat the Grizzlies. Oh, yeah. Yeah, baby. Oh, yes. In fact, I don't even care. Let's go see what happened. Jeremiah Fears off the bench, huh? That's okay. I love Jeremiah Fears. No fears, baby. Zion Williamson is playing, and 24 and 11. Sadiq Bey, look at that. Had himself a game. 36 for Sadiq Bey. And then Trey Murphy, 32. Good job, Pelicans. They look like they're at full strength again. Yes. Look at Yves Missy, who could be traded for. Let me know in the comments. Should the Jazz trade for Yves Missy so they don't lose, and trade Walker Kessler for a first-round pick, and then go get Yves Missy for nothing, and just have him be our center? I don't know. Maybe I'm a little loopy tonight. I don't know. Let's see. So let's go. Let's start the music. And that's too loud, so let's turn it down a little bit. All right, guys. Man. Doggone it. All right. If the lottery was today, Utah now has a 3-game lead on Charlotte. Milwaukee solidified the 6th spot. But can we get to the 4? I think so. With grit and determination, we sure can. Let's see. If the lottery was today, what would happen? Utah falls 1-7. Maybe we can still get Nate Ament. Hannah, yes, more picks. You can never get more picks. Too many picks. That gives you Mikel Brown or Nate Ament or Kingston Flemings. Not too bad. I would possibly go also with Jaden Quaintance at this spot. I love this guy. I love Jaden Quaintance. I can tell you right now, he is for sure going to be a really good NBA player. Oh, we can definitely get more picks, Hannah. Always can. You can never have too many picks. Believe me. It was never too many picks when we got Keonte George and Taylor Hendricks, and Keonte George is the one who panned out, right? All right, let's give a shout out to the All-Stars. By the way, thank you so much, Hannah, after I berate you. Thank you for joining the channel. And if anyone else would like to join the channel, you can. Just hit join on the YouTube. I've been doing like the Twitters. I didn't do it tonight. I didn't want to. Sometimes I'm like, screw Twitter. Anyways, let's give a shout out to the All-Stars. Let's give a shout out to See Ya, Lexa Later, Brian Perry, the legend, the name means king, baby. Jace the Ace Garner, Steve Areno, Stu Sir, Let Him Cook, Sturdy Pots, Ezekiel Ricibe, the man from down under, Tyson Price, the Price is Right, Jordan the Goat, Besserell, Christian House Money to Haas, Robert Hall of Fame, Arcs Poetica, Austin, our Grant Editor Extraordinaire, Key for 3 at PG, the OG, Patrick Akubo, the Connoisseur. Guys, take care of each other. Be safe out there. Like the video.